Clymer is one of those people who people automatically turn to when they're looking for leadership.
Clymer is a compassionate person.
Clymer is so steady.
Clymer is someone who wants to leave the place better than he found it.
I would say he's a quiet leader. He's not somebody that needs to be the center of attention.
Clymer's one to decline all that and really shine the light on other people. And for all that he's done, not only for Triangle Family Services, but in our community, both business community as well as our community as a whole, he deserves a lot of recognition.
I think Clymer, first and foremost, considers himself a citizen of the Triangle. And by that, if you're a citizen of anything, you need to be a participant in quality of life issues.
He's had a lot of interest in different community activities around Raleigh. He's actually from Raleigh and always has an interest in economic development of this region. The chance to be on this board was just a real good find for him because he cares a lot about what he can do to help Raleigh be a stronger area and help its people.
He chaired a charitable golf tournament through the Cardinal Club that benefited TFS and Interact. And at that time, there was a lot of turmoil in the organization. We really worked together to come up with plans that made sense, looked at finances, and looked at how we marketed and branded the organization.
The challenges before Triangle Family Services was one of sustainability and relevancy. As a 75-year-old nonprofit organization, a lot of people didn't know about us, and so our biggest challenge was in community engagement.
At that time, we were really trying to figure out who Triangle Family Services really was. There were so many multiple parts of the organization, some of which really had drifted off its mission. And because of that, we had financial consequences. The agency was in a transition, a leadership transition. And what Clymer was trying to do was define the mission, make sure that we had our financial house in order, and also find new leadership.
He wasn't scheduled to be the chair. He was the vice chair, and the chair had to leave for different reasons, and Clymer stepped in at a very pivotal time, critical time at this agency, and stepped up, and I just don't know there's a lot of leaders who would do that.
The thing that Clymer would always say about TFS is that, we're going through all this from a governance and leadership standpoint, but what we do for the people of Wake County day in and day out remains the same. We are a solid organization. What we do is valued and needed in this community. And that's why he stuck with it and gave not only the amount of time that he did, but the quality of time that he did.
It is his leadership style that makes the difference because he's so calm in his approach, thoughtful in his approach, and that's what he infuses into organizations.
His commitment to the agency is so strong, and he felt so strongly that he needed to be on property with his feet on the ground, see and be seen.
I think he handles the challenges here and the things that Triangle Family Services faces very much like he does in his own business. It's a long process, and you may see some of the problems early on, but it's about working through it with the people.
He had the roadmap, he had the format. He's an architect by design. So I think that his analytical way that he would transform a community and building a building is probably very much like his analytical mind of how he was transforming and architecting the design of this agency and the shifting and the structure that was needed for long-term sustainability.
As an architect, when you're starting off, you have to have a vision for something. With Triangle Family Services, I think Clymer brought that vision, created some very specific ways to move the organization forward.
You've got to have that strong leadership at the top. You've got to have the right leadership at the top for everything else to fall into place and to do what needs to be done. And I think that Clymer, he would never take pride in it, but I think if he was to look back on his successes, I do think that finding Alice and going through the process and making sure that she was the right fit for this organization, because that's something that hopefully will be here for a long time and will have impact on many lives and many projects and many services.
Clymer is a visionary. I think he's demonstrated that. He is also a leader, and he has certainly through the many years of working with Triangle Family Services and other groups, he's demonstrated that. And we're in much, much stronger footing than we were earlier. And I think that's due to Clymer.
Things are not going to get any easier over the next few years with cuts in federal and state and even city budgets. But I think what Clymer's left behind is the foundation and the confidence to move forward.
Clymer is a thoughtful leader, listens and hears. Clymer is a transformational leader that looks at long-term sustainability. And Clymer is a friend to our community, and we're fortunate to have him.